Hello there guys, and welcome to this episode 1 of my Crystal Palace career mode. I've got a bit of a confession to make. Up until this point, which is the final of the European International Cup, the recording did not work properly, so I haven't actually got any of that. So I'm just going to start from here, and you just missed me setting stuff up. So obviously got Wickham up front, Punch and Zaha and Balassi on the wings, Kabay and MacArthur at CDM, and we got Delaney, Dan, Ward and Soiree at fullback. In goal, I've started McCarthy for this game. I'm looking to sign another centre back. Currently, I've got an offer accepted for Bertrand Bailey. I've also signed this guy, Stendera, who looks like a really solid player. He's got good balance and agility, decent dribbling, 4-star weak foot, can play Cam and CM, and he's also got the 3-star skill moves at 19 years of age. I think I signed him for around 5 million, and hopefully he'll grow into a really good player, and we can start to go up the league. So going into this game now, we've had an alright performance so far in the friendly tournament. We got through our group quite comfortably. We then went to penalties in the semi-final and just about won, with some good saves from Speroni, who was in goal that game. We've still got a fair amount of budget, because I used a 60% increase you get at the start, because I wanted to make a few signings so we can have a lot of good players to grow. Yeah. We get a half chance in the opening 10 minutes, and it doesn't quite go to plan. Zaha passing it off to Punchin, who's offside. And this is kind of how the game went. It was just Hoffenheim passing the ball around the back most of the time and not really being very confident with the ball going forward. We do manage to get a chance just before the 20th minute. Punchin comes inside, lays it off to Kabay, who finds Zaha into MacArthur, and his shot saved well by the keeper. It wasn't a fantastic shot, but it was the first time any keeper had been tested in this game. From the resulting corner, it gets punched away, comes to MacArthur, lays off to Soiree, who goes for the long shot, and it's comfortably into the keeper's grasp. From this, it's a good kick from the keeper. They managed to get the ball down the wing, which is where I feel most of our space was. This was the first time they were using the ball quickly, and it's a good volley that just goes wide. It was the first time we've actually had to answer to Hoffenheim, and that was the only chance, really. First half, we had so many shots on target, they were just so bad, and we didn't have that much possession. We limited Hoffenheim to no shots on target, so let's get into the second half. They came out quite well, Hoffenheim, and were a lot more confident with the ball, and Volland gets the ball into Ruddy, who with a nice finish, it's their first shot on target. It's very frustrating. However, in the 80th minute, we get the ball with MacArthur, and Balassi, with a wonderful run across the pitch, gets to the corner flag, cuts inside beautifully well, into some space, threads the ball through to Punchin, who puts it in the top corner. And all we had to do now was not concede and take the game to penalties. That's all I was going for right now, but it wouldn't be easy, because Hoffenheim have got very good attack with the likes of Volland, and straight from kickoff here, they're going to get a big chance. I'm playing it quickly in the midfield. They're finding far too much space. I probably should have made a few more substitutions, but it's El Yunusi who just smashes that one over the top of MacArthur at that near post again, and he probably should do better with that one. But right at the end of the game, we get a free kick just on the edge of the area. I thought for a second that it was going to be a penalty, but no. And the wall creeped forward here, and I was kind of hoping that they'd be booked or something. And I know Kabay is good at free kicks, but normally I like to try and curl the ball round the wall. But I took it, and it was pretty poor. And that was how the game ends. A loss, but we do get, I think, a couple of £1,000,000 extra to spend on transfers. So with Bertrand Bailey, I've been trying to sign him for a while, and he keeps asking for more and more money. So I'm offering him a massive contract here of 50k a week, and I'm not sure if I actually want to accept that because it's a lot of money. We do sign young striker Timo Werner from Stuttgart, who looks really good at central rated at 19. So hopefully he can grow and replace Adebayor, who's injured at the moment, when we start the season. When we start next season even, and probably if Adebayor starts to decrease, I'll look to sell him to another club in a different league, hopefully, so I don't have to worry about coming up against him. I was interested in looking at a couple of centre-backs, because we've got Delaney as our second choice at the moment. Scott Dan, I'm definitely happy with starting. And that's why I went for Bertrand Bailey, although he was not accepting a contract. No matter what I did, I could not get him to accept. I went up to 55k a week, and I thought that was kind of crazy. Far too much money, and I wasn't really willing to pay it. I now go and look for a few centre-backs from the Premier League, because I know they've got a lot of nice young centre-backs who've got good potential. First one I looked at was Akore, who's got amazing stats. Look at those stats there. Good pace, acceleration, jumping strength, all really good. So I did inquire. And the other player I had in mind, which was a bit more unrealistic, and I wasn't sure if we're going to be able to sign him, was Kurt Zouma from Chelsea, the young French centre-back, who's got similar stats and a really good high rate, especially for a 20-year-old who's higher rated but younger, although he's going to cost a lot more. I started with a 10 million offer. They wanted 10.5 for Akore, so I offered 8.5 because I was hoping that just that 2 million saving wouldn't affect them too much. And I think he's 77 rated as well, so he'd be a really good offer. Bertrand Bailey did accept that contract, but I looked at how much it would take out of the wage and of the transfer budget, and I decided to stall to see how the offers went with Akore and Zouma. They originally said they wanted 15.5 for Zouma. I think I went up to 12, so 3.5 million less than they asked for, but I think that that's about how I'd value him in his current form. I did start, especially with the signings of Timo Werner, to list Campbell for transfer because he wasn't going to get any game time. Then a few youngsters for 2-year loan, as it gives them an opportunity to grow because they're not going to get much game time here, and it also gives me more wage budget to try and bring in a few more signings. I don't really want to bring in too many players on loan because I don't like growing these players and then selling them and then having to buy them back for more than they were worth when I got them. So if I can get a loan to buy, then maybe I'll consider it. I didn't want to get rid of all my players on loan though, because that would mean I had no squad depth, and if I had issues with injuries, then it'd be really difficult. The only positions I'm not too worried about in terms of injury is the cam left and right mid, because I think Zaha, Balassi, Puncheon and Sacco can all, and Stendera, can all sort of swap around and fill in positions if we have injuries. I didn't want to get rid of Joe Ledley because he's an important part of the squad rotation. So if we have games midweek or games against less teams lower down in the table, he will be able to start, and he's a good, well-rounded player. A core offer was accepted, and I offered him 40k a week, which is still a lot. But with players going out, I thought that wasn't too bad. And he is 77 rated, which is good. He's a nice 22 years of age, 77 rated. Hopefully he can grow into a really good player. Rather than signing the likes of Yedvaj or Tar, or that type of player, who are low rated and really high potential, I wanted a player that I could put into the squad straight away and know he would be performing well and would be a solid defender. However, Zuma did decline his contract, and I didn't really want to offer him major money, because then I have the same problem with Bertrand Bailey. And Akore was only a rating or two less, which we can definitely make up in the season. But then Zuma accepted, and I wasn't sure which of the two I wanted. It was a lot cheaper, the deal, for Akore, although he's older and lower rated. But I felt it was a more realistic deal. I can't see Zuma leaving Chelsea anytime soon. And although it's not all that likely, well, with the form Aston Villa are in at the moment, it looks like they're going to really struggle to stay up. So he probably will be moving on at some point this season. So I decided to bring in Akore and then reject the Zuma deal, as it was just too much money and I didn't really want to spend that yet. If we start to win things, do well and get a bigger transfer budget, then I'll look to bring in players like Zuma who are a bit higher rated and young. Akore is going to come straight into the starting lineup, and he makes the defence look that bit more solid. Now Suarez is the lowest rated player and he's nearly up to a 76, but that heart of defence, especially with Speroni in there, looks really strong. We have quite a lot of goalkeepers who can play as a first choice, but I'd like to sign one who's very young and I can improve and not have to worry about bringing keepers in later seasons. That's about it for this video. If you have any suggestions for signings, leave them in the description, particularly a goalkeeper, that would be great. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve, because I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, please also leave them in the comments. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this first episode of the Crystal Palace Career Mode. I apologise again for what happened at the start. I don't really know what happened, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.